Hey, good morning, felons in the yard, fellow gangsters, OGs of football, other message boards. It's been a long time for me, so I figured I'd go video message. First things first, thank you all who reached out. It means a lot, and congratulations, Ed. Cute little fucking baby, man. Good for you. Jake, man, appreciate you getting back aboard. Lethal, last time I looked on Facebook, it's like you could join SEAL Team 6. All you other OGs, and I ain't calling you out, but I love you too. Get right to the guts. Make a draft video. I think the first time I tried this was like 30 fucking minutes. We could go forever, right? So let's just get bottom on the front. Where do I rate this draft at? I think Clarence said a video. I think it's a C, D plus, right? There's two different drafts. I'm going to take it to the next step. So if we're looking for this draft from a 2, 3, 4 year perspective, probably 2 year actually where I go, B plus A. I'll explain. From a now, help me now, Penix brings you to about D plus, honestly. And then that's the two drafts. So let me explain what I mean by that. Why? Let's get this Penix out of the way for one. Yes, nobody fucking predicted it. Although, thanks to Jake and others, I did like Penix a lot. I mean, my first result was, why the fuck didn't you just stay there drafting? The reality is, I think the Falcons pulled off one of the greatest smoke screens ever, right? You overpaid for Cousins. If the deal is what the cap guys say, you can get out of it in a 1 or 2 year deal, and nobody had a fucking clue you're sitting there and wait. So basically, they could either got a hellacious trade up offer, which you can rebuild, right? Or they just said, fuck it, I can't get a next year's pick, and I'm not going to be in this range. I'm going to take the guy we like and be our franchise guy. So it's kind of brilliant, it's kind of Machiavellian, but it doesn't really help you now. I'm going to explain why. So let's go back first to Kirk Cousins. What do you bring? Kirk Cousins obviously was a premier free agent, right? He's 36. He's coming off fucking Achilles. In his career, he probably can go a while. He doesn't have any major. Remember, this Mac hurt his shoulder, so his arm was kind of dying out, and we also threw like 9,000 times a year. But Cousins gives you a chance to be competitive, right? Especially where we're poor offensively. So, but we're talking about the NFC South, right? And, you know, with Cousins, yes, you do have a chance. 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 wins if you get lucky. You know, weak division. Carolina didn't get any better. Tampa Bay drafts as shitty as we do, by the way. New Orleans, I don't know what the fuck's going on with them. I'm actually glad we got what we got. So we have a really dysfunctional division. So having the Cousins, you know, if you look back at last year's, you guys, we know this, we talked about it. Fucking between Mariota before and the year before, and then fucking Ritter. I mean, dude, and Heineken. We lost a lot of games at quarterbacks. I mean, a lot. I mean, what, 3, 4 at least? So again, in a weak division, Cousins, who doesn't turn the ball over, who is accurate, who can move the offense and get the ball to your receivers, you do have a chance. So the good news is, yes, we're absolutely competitive, if not the favorite, in my opinion, after what any draft pundit says, to win the fucking South. I mean, it's not a great division. Will you win a playoff? That's where you don't know, but we do have a great running game. And with when you look at, you know, Cousins, who can move the field, keep the defenses honest. Now Bijan, now Taylor, you know, Tyler Algier. I mean, Vikings did not have a running game. Look, Dalvin Cook was not, in my opinion, he's a little bit overrated. Good back, but I was a little overrated. This is a bell cow match. We could actually maybe get lucky. Look, I'm not remotely going to say Super Bowl. You guys know what as I do from 2016 alone. If you have a great year at your quarterback and your stud wide receiver, player, you get a chance, right? Sometimes it backfires. Look at 28-3. So we're competitive in the near term, right? So let's go to the draft now. Back to Penix. Again, I hate the pick. I still kind of hate the pick, and I'll tell you why. Because I hate the pick, because I hate our fucking roster that necessitated that pick, right? But when I really, really, really look at our defensive roster, right, we really shitty sucked. I mean, under Smith, and TF, I'm going to call you out too, or K, or whoever the fuck did this draft. I'm starting to learn the K with more and more, right? I mean, you guys really put all your assets again into the offensive side, right? Sound familiar? You know, it's like the same old scheme we did on our map, the same old shit, the same old crap. I mean, we have third rounders. Look, last year everybody talks about how much the defense improved. It's because we had Dupree, Campbell, a few others. Talk about one-year mercenaries. There was no depth to it, right? I don't even know if we have a cornerback on our roster after next year. The reason we drafted so many D linemen, by the way, Clarence, is we ain't got shit on the fucking roster. I mean, we got Omiata and a recovering, rehabbing Grady. Zach Harrison's a third round, pleasant surprise. Anderson was picked in the second. He hasn't done shit, right? He can't stay on the field, right? Lanneman was an undrafted free agent. Terrell, they inherited. Bates was the best free agent that we signed completely. He is our game changer, if you would, right? But ultimately, we didn't have a lot. We don't have a lot. And that's what this draft suggests. So when you look at the Penix, right? Again, foundationally, your franchise quarterback that you love and believe in. I do too, brother. I like a lot of things. The guy's got a hell of an arm, escapability. He's a leader. He's proven. He hasn't been injured in 2 years. He's battle tested. Let's say we had drafted edge rusher. I'm not sure Turner. I'm not sure Latu, who I even like, right, a lot. Quinion Mitchell would have made that much of a fucking difference. That's how bad it was. I mean, being honest with you, that's how bad it was. So when all things are considered, Penix was absolutely the BPA. Penix actually set the tone. We continue kind of winning as you build your roster, right? With the money tied up in Kurt, Penix has been a 5-year deal or 4-year, have the option. It gives you the flexibility to get free agents as you compete. But I think what you get now with the Kurt signing is you're competitive. You could win the South. You could win a playoff. Hell, you might get lucky. Don't want to run. We'll see, right? I'm not holding my breath. But you also don't have a terrible drop-off when the inevitable comes and Kurt's just old and creaky, right? Hey, Kurt fights off Father Time, it's been at 6-3 fucking years. What do you care? I mean, you don't have a drop-off. I mean, that's kind of, I think, where we're going. But shame on our front office. Shame on our front office for the way they did the Smith term. Shame on TF. I'm not very impressed with you because you fucking had to get to this point. This is insane, right? That we put so many resources in the fucking line, so many resources on all these offensive players, and shame on you. You've neglected the fucking defense. So whether it's Raheem, whether it's, I don't know what it is, for once at least we fucking spent a defensive draft, loaded more defensively on defensive prospects. So let's talk about prospects. Let's first of all take Rook. Okay, Rook. As a Mocker-Focker, is that right? What do you say? FF since 1970, say, yeah, that's a lot to give up. But when you look at it, there was a run on defensive linemen. Fisk went off the board. A bunch of interior guys went off. We gave up a bit to get to Rook, although we got a later pick for him, but we lost a third. Rook had a RAS of like 9.92. Look, I know RASs and everything. This dude's an athletic freak. He's 6'5", 290.5. Frames can be 310. He can run. He's athletic, 34-inch arms. He's an athletic beast. Gives you the 5-tech flexibility. Gives you coming off the edge of the defensive end if you want to jumbo. Obviously, you can move inside, right? I don't like the price we paid, but that doesn't mean that wasn't the price of the draft. I wasn't in the world, so I'm going to give a pass here. Braylon Trice. Fucking love it, right? Again, I'm going to caveat this, Clarence. Because Clarence, you did call me out, and you were right. I love Trice as a finite foundational Zadarius Smith type player you need that we didn't have. But you're right. I don't want Trice to be considered our only saving grace, him and his second year Harrison, as our premier edge. It's not. They are not. They are, maybe Harrison blows up. We hope, right? But that's a lot to hope. They are similar players. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5"-ish, right? I think they're 6'5"-ish. 270 they play in both Trice and I think Harrison. Both can stand up, both can interior rush, go on nickel, they can both come off the edge, right? Good, rugged, tough, mean street players. Love it. But again, don't love it because we don't have an edge rusher. Back to our competitiveness, right? Doris, I think it's Dorius, Brandon. I'm going to call him BD. BD, great fucking pick. You know why I like him? And I'll tell you why. Watch his fucking film. Watch his games. Watch all his games. Dude, they stood him up as a fucking outside linebacker. The dude is a interesting player. He reminds me a lot of Roosevelt Colvin. I don't know if you guys old enough to remember the guy that played the Patriots and also the Bears. And There's been a couple, even the Zaire Smith. There's just some weird big dudes that can do the local thing. He's going to be interesting. He's long arm, got some athleticism, got a mean streak. Does he keep weight down or does he gain weight? You could gain weight because I think he gained up like 25 pounds, 20 pounds over this testing thing. A lot of teams want to see him as a 3-tack or 5-tack. He could do either, or you keep him slim and mean and move him around. Either way, you got kind of a chess piece. Again, not counting on a lot. These are contributors, right? Day one. I think they are contributors. Doesn't mean they're enough to carry the edge, and we're not going to have a dominating defense. Maybe we'll stop some people. So I had Braylon and Doris. What's next up? Bertrand. Very, very interesting pick. Another older prospect, 24, I think he is, captain. Yeah, on a Will and Chase linebacker. I like it. He's got some business skills. Good pick. Special teams. Rotation. Good. Again, not slam the door, slap your mom when we ain't going to kick everybody's ass, but we were in weak division. So from a depth perspective, we're getting better. One of the picks I really like, and I think, Clarence kind of talked, I really like the pick of Zion Logue. That was the, I don't know if you guys know, he's not a stud, right? But he is a cog, a foundation, right? That signal, we're going to go big, rugged, and mean. Okay. We should have been doing this shit for 5, 10 years. All this finesse shit and all this putting resources after resources on fucking offensive players is why we're here. That's what it's about. We don't have the basic. Logue is just a typical 6'5", 6'6", 320, played 330, I think, over in Hugga. 0-tech, 5-tech. He's a big old mountain of a man. Rook, go back to Rook, 5-tech, 24, long DN, can move inside, right? Maybe play some jumbo DN, right? Go back to Doris. Let's say you want to keep Doris' weight down. Again, what do we have? Kind of long, play 5-tag, play interior, right? Sound familiar? Say Grady, Miata, right? Guess what, Clarence? We're going to cut people. We haven't even been on our fucking roster, man. We haven't even been on our fucking roster defensive line. We needed defensive linemen. Same with the outside linebackers. Who the fuck is competing with Trice? Who the fuck is competing? I mean, there's not much there, right? Carter. So what you're seeing, I thought was, and with Logue really cemented it for me, you're seeing a commitment to at least building a rugged, athletic, tough defensive line. But it's really sad. I mean, we're not a step away from the Super Bowl. That's what it tells you. We're a step away from not being able to fill the fucking roster, dude. Jace McClellan, great pick, in my opinion, especially that period. Why not build on your strong capability of running back? Dude has got a lot of ability, 5-star ability, can catch, who knows, he might get lightning in the ball. I like the wide receiver. I cannot remember his name now, so forgive me, but yeah, I mean, 6'2", 200, runs 4.45. I think he dropped 2 passes. Okay, good pick, right? So what does all tell me? I'm going to wrap it up because I don't do too much. One, back to the Falcons, played an elaborate motion. Nobody saw us coming for Penix. Cousins, you're surprised. You get paid $100. I think it's Fat Boy that said, dude, you get paid. He'll get over it. Two, Penix gives some marketing aspect too. I will say this, look, Matt and Cousins and my white dude, I wear earrings, I got tattoos and shit. I'll be honest with you. Those white boy, boring, preppy quarterbacks that I like watching paint dry, they don't excite me either. You need something to excite you about your team. I think Penix is an exciting player. He's a bit of improvisation. He's got a great, beautiful arm. You remember, wow, every time he throws it. A year, I think maybe a year. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's going to go 2 years behind Cousins. I think we'll be out of Cousins year 2. That's my opinion. If Cousins doesn't get hurt, he's always at risk. So excited about it, and also, Penix being on that extra rookie deal, that extra 5th year, it is cheap. I'm tired of hearing he's 24. Who gives a fuck? I mean, look, Lethal's like 85. He could go be still Team 6 right now. I mean, come on, there's nutrition and training at the NFL level. So I'm tired of hearing the guy's older prospect. But I think that's a good thing. So our core offensively is good. We can move the ball. Defensively, I think we're starting to finally get our roster together. Man, look, I hope we go out. Look, even if it's as simple as getting Dupree and Campbell back, I do hope we get some vet presence in there. I think we need a cornerback still. I don't know how we're in the season with the cornerbacks we got. I mean, Alford and Phillips, they're marine quarterbacks. I like Hamlin safety. I don't like Richie Grant whatsoever. I was a little shocked they didn't get a safety. Offensively, we're good. So back to the draft. Yeah, it is an A in terms of thinking 3 years, 2 3 years, right? C right now. Why is it C? C plus, maybe. Because your foundation. And Clarence Wright is a little bit of 2 drafts, and I think the Penix Strip up. But again, this tells you how mismanaged this organization has been for years. I mean, very lopsided again. I think I'll be honest with you, I think McKay's been pulling the trigger. This just reeks of McKay. I think that's why we got. Maybe McKay was actually out of the draft room for a fucking change. Maybe. I don't know. So prediction. I think with Cousins, you could get, and looking at last year's and year before, really shitty 17. Because even the rookies barely contribute. We're no worse than we were over the Smith years with defense. I think Lake schemed enough to get us by somewhat. So that we're 17 3 years in a row. With Cousins, I think you add another win above replacement. 9, 10, maybe 11. You take 11, 12 if things are wrong. And the reason why I said that, when I read back, watched the Falcons game, no if Ritter and Mariota both lost us a lot of games. Cousins not going to turn the ball over that badly. So we can win the South, but we shouldn't congratulate ourselves. The work is just done, starting. The fact is, I think we're looking at a lot more foundational drafts. Free agent, trade, man, I hope so. Maybe trade I'd like to see happen in closing. Send fucking Cincy a second round for next year for fucking Trey Hendrickson. Go ahead. Then we all talk about a different game. I would like to see, in closing, a little more win now approach in terms of aggressiveness, because you are paying a lot for Cousins, right? It's a sunk cost. And, we know the end game's going to be transitioning, but why not go ahead and just give it in? So to me, let's say we go out and trade it for Hendrickson, or even if we sign Yannick, I can't pronounce his last name, Nagali, whatever, and brought back Cookie Monster or Bud Dupree. At least you can see the possibility of definitely taking the South. So that's where I'm at. What's your guys' thoughts? In other words, it's not as doom and gloom as we thought, maybe, but it's not a great team. I mean, we're middle of the pack again, guys. Hey, man, good seeing you guys. If you're bored with this, I get it. Fast forward. Later, bro. Talk to y'all later.